On December 12, 2025, the defense world was shaken to its core. Canada and Swedish defense giant Saab unveiled a partnership so audacious, it left the Pentagon utterly speechless. Saab's strategy wasn't just bold, it was revolutionary. This wasn't a simple jet sale. Canada would co-produce the Saab Gripen E-fighter, sending a seismic shock through the global defense community. For years, the F-35 was seen as Canada's inevitable path, a guarantee for US defense dominance. But Saab's daring move shattered that certainty overnight. This was more than a purchase. It was a dramatic, unexpected break from the US-centric defense tradition, catching American officials completely off guard. Saab's offer was a masterstroke: deep technology transfer, shared intellectual property, and a new aerospace center in Canada. The Pentagon never saw it coming. The partnership promised to reshape not just Canada's military, but its entire industrial future, leaving defense analysts scrambling to comprehend the fallout. By choosing Saab, Canada declared its quest for true autonomy, and a platform tailored for its Arctic frontiers, an astonishing twist that stunned US defense circles. The Gripen E's unmatched efficiency and adaptability made it the perfect weapon for Canada's vast, unforgiving territory, amplifying the shock even further. Prime Minister Trudeau and Saab's CEO unveiled a vision of thousands of high-tech jobs and a new generation of Canadian engineers, while the Pentagon watched, stunned, and silent. Suddenly, Canada was no longer just a buyer, it was a creator, a partner. Saab's bold strategy had rewritten the rules. This was about more than defending Canadian skies. Saab had just redrawn the future of Canada's aerospace sector, leaving the world in suspense. The announcement sent shockwaves through the established order, leaving US officials reeling and the Pentagon in disbelief. Canada was no longer content to follow. With Saab, it was forging a bold new path, one that blindsided the Pentagon. The implications were immediate and global. Canada and Saab had changed the game, and the world was left watching in awe. Defense experts everywhere were forced to reconsider Canada's and Saab's place in global security. Saab's bold, unexpected move, and Canada's leap into the unknown sent shockwaves that will echo for decades. The Pentagon and the world had been left speechless. The Ottawa News sent shockwaves through Washington, London, and Brussels. Defense insiders everywhere asked, how did Canada defy expectations and reject the F-35? The American defense industry, especially Lockheed Martin, was blindsided after years of lobbying. Canada's move was more than a lost sale, it was a blow to the F-35's prestige. The decision proved that a smaller, agile competitor could win over a major G7 nation. Military analysts were forced to rethink the meaning of interoperability. Canada showed it could be achieved through technology, not just hardware. The Saab deal offered Canada true partnership and industrial sovereignty, something the F-35 program could not. Instead of buying off the shelf, Canada became a co-developer and producer. This was a nation-building project disguised as a defense contract. The world realized Canada hadn't just bought a fighter jet, it had bought a future. Respect for Canada's boldness began to grow. Saab's Maple Crown initiative was a masterstroke. It offered Canada full partnership, not just a customer relationship. Saab promised complete technology and intellectual property transfer for the Gripen E. Canada would build, modify, and maintain its jets independently. An unprecedented offer. Data sovereignty was guaranteed. All operational data would remain under Canadian control. Saab committed to a state-of-the-art aerospace center in Canada, assembling jets for both domestic use and export. Partnerships with Canadian universities and tech firms would drive next-generation aerospace innovation. Thousands of high-skilled jobs and long-term economic growth were promised. The Gripen E's ability to operate from short remote runways in extreme cold made it ideal for Canada's north. Lower operating costs meant more training and a stronger presence. Saab wasn't just selling jets, it was planting the seeds for a new industrial ecosystem. The Maple Crown initiative was tailored perfectly to Canada's strategic, economic, and military needs. The Pentagon's initial response was silence, followed by carefully worded diplomatic statements. Behind closed doors, disbelief and frustration reigned. The F-35 was supposed to cement US-Canada military unity. The Gripen deal felt like a symbolic break. Official statements reaffirmed the alliance, but the tone was cool and formal. US officials worried about integrating a non-American jet into NORAD's synchronized defense system. Would communications and logistics suffer? These were real concerns. The decision forced the US to confront its waning influence and the limits of its defense model. Canada's move was a wake-up call. Allies now wanted industrial benefits, technological control, and true partnership. The seamless interoperability of the past was gone. The US could no longer assume allies would automatically buy American. The Saab deal forced a re-evaluation of what it means to be a partner in the 21st century. The defense industry realized it had to compete on more than just technology. The rules of the game had changed. Picture a cold Arctic morning. A Gripen E lands on a snowy remote airstrip, refueled and rearmed in minutes. This is the new reality. Canada can now project air power from unpredictable locations across its north. The Gripen's rugged design allows operations from dispersed, makeshift runways, making it hard for adversaries to target. Instead of relying on a few large bases, Canada gains a flexible, resilient defensive shield. In NATO's Arctic challenge drills, Canadian Gripens become the stars, landing on icy roads, seamlessly linking with allies and disrupting enemy sensors. Canada is no longer just a participant, it's an innovator in Arctic defense. Diplomatically, Canada's newfound capability strengthens its voice at the Arctic Council. Now, Canada doesn't just claim its north, it actively defends it. The Gripen fleet is a symbol of sovereignty and commitment. Rivals like Russia take notice. Canada's territory is secure. The Gripen is more than a jet. It's a statement of intent. The Gripen deal has transformed Canada's global image. Once seen as a cautious follower, Canada now leads with bold, independent choices. Within NATO, Canada champions smart defense, cost-effective, industrially independent, and operationally flexible. Other nations watch as Canada secures top-tier capability without superpower dependency. Canada becomes a role model for balancing alliance commitments with sovereignty. As a Gripen manufacturing hub, Canada gains new economic and diplomatic leverage. Canadian leaders now represent a nation with an advanced, innovative aerospace industry. Canada's voice in global security is stronger and more distinct. The world listens as Canada shapes debates and influences outcomes. The quiet follower has found its roar. The Gripen deal highlights a growing philosophical divide between Canada and the US. The Pentagon's model is technological dominance and standardization, one high-tech solution for all. Canada chose pragmatic efficiency and strategic independence. The Gripen E offered high-end capability, lower costs, Arctic ruggedness, and full industrial partnership. Canada prioritized national benefits and flexibility over uniformity. The US expected Canada to choose the F-35 for alliance standardization. But Canada wanted true industrial autonomy, something the F-35 program couldn't offer. For Canada, security means military strength, economic health, and technological sovereignty. The Maple Crown Initiative addressed all these needs. Even close allies may now choose different tools to achieve their security goals. Canada's decision is a stone in the pond of global military strategy. Its ripples will spread. Other nations now see a credible alternative to the F-35, validated by a G7 country. Saab's phones will be ringing as countries seek capable fighters with industrial benefits. The Western alliances, air power, may fragment, with a new Gripen club emerging. This creates new sub-alliances and shifts the internal balance of power. The US defense industry must adapt, offering deeper partnerships, more local production, and greater control. The global arms market will become more competitive and partnership-driven. In the long term, a more balanced, multipolar defense world will emerge. Alliances will be more flexible, with countries forming partnerships based on shared interests. Canada's move may be remembered as the turning point in global defense procurement. The echoes of Ottawa's announcement will be heard for years. The Canada-Saab partnership marks a new era in defense thinking, balancing alliance commitments with sovereign interests. Canada has redefined what it means to be a middle power. By negotiating creatively, it secured a deal serving its military, economy, and autonomy. The lesson: you don't have to be the biggest to be the smartest. The US defense establishment has been served a wake-up call. Made in America is no longer enough. Allies want true partnership and control. The future of alliances depends on building up partners' strength, not just your own. The first Canadian-built Gripen E will symbolize this new era, confident, independent, and innovative. The global defense market is now more competitive and diverse. Canada's new roar is the sound of a nation in control of its destiny.